My name is Hassan Ali. Here is my details. My email address is hassan.ali@aussizzgroup.com and my phone number is 0491 Please note this email address in future if you need any help regarding any your PR PR inquiries. Please feel free to contact us. And my co-host is Manpreet Kaur. He's qualified education consultant and her email address is manpreet.kaur@aussizzgroup.com. Her phone number is 0426232742. Please note this email address because you guys need this help regarding any PR inquiries, even education inquiries. So the topic we will cover in this session, mostly for IT occupation, because this presentation is 100% IT related, and I'm only covering IT occupations, and I can explain you what is the medium term occupation list and what is short term occupation list, and I can explain you what is the ACS skill assessment process, and I can also explain you what visa options for IT professionals like general skill migrations, employer sponsorship visas, global talent visas. I can also explain you state sponsorship requirements for IT graduates step by step. I can explain you what requirement for Victoria, what requirement is for Canberra. I can also explain you at the end EUI statistics. What's the minimum points required to get 189? 190 and 491. I can explain this step by step all these process, and this is 2 hour presentation. So at the end we can do the question and answer sessions. In IT there are so many occupations that are in a medium term occupation list. For example, if you are working as a software engineer, that is on the medium term occupation list. If you're working as a developer programmer, that is also on the medium term occupation list. That's the occupation that are listed here. These are the popular occupation, and mostly people from India, from Australia, they are working in this field like software engineers. Mostly our clients are working as a software engineer, and this occupation is very good for PR pathways. For example, if you're working as a software engineer, you can go for 189 skilled independent visa. Even you can go for 190, 491 state sponsorship visa. You can also go for 482, 186, 494. And we have a many clients from India, from they working in a software engineer, developer, programmer, software and application programmer, computer network and system engineers, and ICT business analyst. And these occupations are very good for PR pathways. Some others occupation that falls under short-term occupation list. Short-term occupation list means you can't apply 189 visa, but you can apply other type of visa like 190, 491, 482, 186, and 494. The occupations that falls under 491 is the ICT support and test engineers. Many of our clients are working as ICT support and test engineers. Some of our IT professionals are working as a web developers, or some people also working as a software testers. It's very good occupations. If you're working in this occupation, if you have a job, then I'm saying you will get 190, 491, 482, even 186 and 494. The difference between medium term occupation list and short term occupation list only for this 189 visa. If someone working in a medium term occupation list, they can go for 189 independent skilled visa. If someone working in a short term occupation list, they just goes for web development like 190, 491, 190 and 189 is also the permanent residency. If you're working as a software, for example, I'm also giving you, if you're working as a software engineer, if you have a 2-year work experience, you can go for 482 visa. That's the employer sponsorship visa. If you're working as a software engineer, if you have a 3 years work experience, you can go for 186 employer nomination visa. One more thing here, you can see 186, it's all under the new rules that's implemented from 1st of July. If someone working as a software tester, they still can apply 186 nomination scheme. These are the new rules. Before, if someone working in these occupations, they just go for 482 short term. But now the government said this short term occupation is also go for up to 4 years. So this is also good things. The people who working in these occupation, and there are PR pathway on these categories also. If you guys have any question, just write down in a chat box. At the end, I can answer all questions. I try to answer. The other most important thing, skill assessment pathways. There are 3 types of skill assessment pathway. That is post-Australian study, general skill assessment, and recognition of prior learning. That's we call very common RPL. The skill assessment authority for computers is Australian Computer Society. There is only one assessment authority who do this skill assessment, that's called from Australian Computer Society. The fee for skill assessment is $500. Either you can go for post-Australian study or general skill assessment. If you go for RPL, that costs you $550. This is pathway. Pathway 1, post-Australian study. If someone is finished 2 years study in Australia and his study is college or university is accredited from Australian Computer Society, they can go for skill assessment under this pathway. There are 2 requirements for getting skill assessment. Australian, according to Australian study base, you have either you have a 1-year relevant work experience, or you have to complete up ACS professional years. For example, if someone is finished 2 years, 3 years bachelor of information system like software engineer, then after that, if he works 1 year as a software engineer, he can do this skill assessment under this pathway. That is 1 year of relevant work experience completed after the completion date of Australian completion. If, for example, here, this is very important. Sometimes people, I have many questions. They say, we have a 2-year work experience during our studies. That work does not consider, because Australian Computer Society only consider your work after completion of dates. Or ACS professional year. Some clients, they say it's very difficult to get jobs there. Then we say, okay, you can go for the ACS professional year. It is a 1-year course. And if you finish this course, you can get a skill assessment. This is the easiest path. Even some of clients, they also doing 1-year work experience, and after that they do ACS professional year. So they can do the skill assessment in both way. One more important thing, if you have a 1-year work experience related in your field, you can get 5 points. And plus, if you have a professional year program, you can also get the 5 points. So this is always win-win situation. If you guys have any question regarding this, you just write on these slides so I can at the end help you. The other pathway, this pathway is pathway skill assessment 2. This is mostly people from offshore. They can go for this pathway. This first pathway is for Australia, mostly from international students. They're working here, they studied here. They can go for this one. This pathway, mostly the people from offshores. They have a experience, minimum 2 years experience, they can go for this pathway. They have 4 different categories. If you finish bachelor or master's degree that is highly relevant to the IT occupations, you need a 2 year work experience in last 10 years or 4 year relevant work experience before 10 years. Mostly people go for this one. Mostly people have a 2 year work experience offshores. They can go for this one. And yes, and if sometime the people study masters in information system and they want to do the skill assessment as a business analyst, they need a 4 year relevant ICT work experience. This is another category, ICT minor. ICT content not closely related to your nominated occupations. For example, if you studied Master of Marketing and you just study 2, 3 IT occupations, then you require 6 year relevant work experience. And if you study Master of Information Systems and it's not closely related to your nominated occupation, then you require 4 year relevant work experience. Even if you finish a diploma or advanced diploma associate degree, you require 5 year relevant work experience. So if some of guys who have a 10 year, some of clients who have a 10 year work experience, but they don't have a IT proper qualification like bachelor degree, even they have a diploma qualification, they still can do for the skill assessment from ICT. This first pathway is very common. You just need 2 year work experience if your qualification is IT related. The other pathway is pathway skill assessment too. If someone have a don't qualification, for example, in IT related, they can go for 8 year work experience, 8 year relevant ICT work experience, completed any time in past history. For example, if someone say, I just finished year 12 and I have started work as a software engineer, they just require 8 year work experience. If you have a diploma degree or higher degree, then you can go for 6 year ICE relevant work experience plus RPL application. This pathway is only for those people who have a work experience and they don't have a proper qualification. They can go for this one. For this pathway, for ICT diploma or higher, they need to write some CDR reports. Usually the people also, this is also very common. So the typically there are 3 pathways. I can say one pathway is from Australian students. The other pathway general skill assessment from international students. And from the third path, RPL, it's also from the offshore clients who have a huge work experience, but they don't have a proper qualifications. And the fee for ACS skill assessment is 500 to 550. This is again pathway 1 from Australian student. All of international students who studied here, they can go for this one. And this pathway skill assessment too from offshore applicants who have a work experience more than 2 years, they can go for this one. And this pathway, the people who don't hold any qualification or education related to IT, they can again go for this. So in Asia, there is always opportunity to get a skill assessment if you have a right work experience. No, no, I'm going from Tasmania state nomination. Many of our clients who studied here in Australia, they finish professional years, and if they're working in different states like this in Tasmania in IT occupation, there are chances to get 190 nominations. I can explain you what are the different categories. There are two type of state nomination. One is 190. There are two type of state nomination. One is 190 and one is 491. For example, if someone is working 6 months as a software engineer in Tasmania and they have at least 35 hours per week in one full-time job or two more part-time jobs, they can eligible for 190. If anyone is working in IT occupations like these occupations, like software engineer, developer, programmer, software and application programmer, computer network and system analyst. If you're working in this occupation in Tasmania for just 6 months, you are eligible for 190. 190 is a permanent residency. There is no difference between 189 and 190. And if you work just 3 months in IT field in Tasmania, and minimum 35 hours per week in one full-time job or two part-time jobs, you can eligible for 91. If you get a job in IT field in Tasmania, always win-win situations. And 6 month, one thing, 6 month is only, you can only apply 6 months if you have a skill assessment from ACS. Okay, if sometimes people called us, they say we have a 6 month work experience, but they don't have a skill assessment, they can't apply state nomination. To apply state nomination application, you must get skill assessment first from Australian Computer Society. The other main thing, if you're getting a job in Tasmania, you must live in Tasmania. Okay, you must physical work there. There is no remote online working. For example, if you're working in Victoria and you said, I have an IT job in Tasmania, but they allows me to work from home, that's not acceptable in Tasmania. They say you have to work in Tasmania. And this is very good opportunities for IT graduate. If they have a job there in IT field, you can get 190 within 6 months if you have a positive skill assessment. The other thing, if you have a 3 month jobs, 3 month work experience in IT, you still can go for it, 491. The next state is a Northern Territory that I'm discussing with you. In Northern Territory, if you finish 2 years studies in Northern Territory, they can give you 190 visa. And this is very common. Many of the clients who just want to go for University of Charles Darwin University, they finish 2 years study, they can get 190 from there. One more thing here in Tasmania, there is another thing I can mention you. For example, if you study 2 years in Tasmania, 2 years, they can also give you 190 there, 2 years study. If you study 2 years there, they can give you 190. And if you study 1 year there, they can give you 491. One more thing, these are the old rules, and mostly they just follow these rules because state's still not updated yet. So, for example, if you finish 2 years study from University of Tasmania, and if you have started job there, then there's most probability you will get 190 from there. And this is Northern Territory 190. If you finish 2 years study in Northern Territory, 2 years study, this one, you can go for 190 visa. But there is another requirement to get this visa. They said it's very important. You have to understand. It does not mean you finish study, you come back to Victoria, they can't give it to you. They said you have to 2 years study in Northern Territory and you have lived in Northern Territory for a period of at least 6 months immediately after the date of completion of your last qualification. And you holding a visa that has no work limitation. For example, if you finish 2 years study masters of IT in Northern Territory, then you can apply 485 in 485 on a bridging visa. There is no work limitation on it. It means you are eligible for 190 from there. For example, if you finish masters here and if you finished 485, for example, in New South Wales, Sydney, and for example, in Melbourne, then you have decided why not I go to the Northern Territory and I do 2 years study. They give you 190. No, it's not possible for you because if you go to Tasmania, if you go to Northern Territory, the day you apply 190, you don't have work limitations on your visa. For example, if you are on a student visa, you study 2 years on Northern Territory after finishing 485. After finishing 485, you are not eligible for 190. You need to apply any type of visa that gives you full work rights. Then you eligible for this 190, and you have to tell them in demonstrating genuine and sustained efforts to obtain employment in the Northern Territory from a Northern Territory employment. This is just like a commitment statement. You have to tell to them you are applying different type of jobs, so you have to write some commitment statements in this commitment statement. Like, we also need it in Tasmania. For example, in Tasmania, if you finish 2 years study, then after that you write a commitment statement like what's IT scope in Tasmania. You have to demonstrate it. You are applying jobs and you have very bright future to get these jobs. So this is commitment statement also needed in Tasmania case. The other thing, 491, if you don't want to study 2 years in Northern Territory, you can also go for 491. It means, for example, if you are moving from today, you have to live 12 months in Northern Territory in a Darwin. You have to show them you are doing full-time jobs in eligible occupation. It does not mean if you are the software engineer, you have to work in a software engineer in Northern Territory. You can work in a different occupation, and that occupation must be in a Northern Territory list. And you must work 6 months before applying this, and you must live in Northern Territory another 6 months. It's almost 1 year. You have to show to them you have this job for future, and you need to show them future contracts, and this position must be based in Northern Territory, and the employer must be registered in the Northern Territory. For example, if you find an employer who is registered in Sydney, then you don't eligible for this 491 nominations. This is also very common. People moving in Northern Territory, many people getting 491. But it's difficult to live in Northern Territory. Northern Territory is very dry states, and sometimes it's difficult to find a job. One more thing, in Northern Territory, there is very limited quota for 190 and 491. Very limited number of seats. Sometimes people waiting for nomination more than 6 months to get a final approval. The other state is very common, Western Australia. This state was last year was very, very good. For example, if you're working in a Sydney, you can apply Western Australia AOI. If they invite you, you can apply 190 from there. And last year they invited so many people and so many our clients. They have got invitation from Western Australia in IT occupation business analysts. Many clients who did who got an invitation last year. One more thing, if you are thinking to moving in Western Australia in IT occupations, you must be have a good point scores, because in Western Australia the ranking is they do the in ranking system. They only invite you if you have a highest EUI point scores. They can invite you if you have oldest EUI submission dates. You must have full-time employment contract in your nominated field. It means if they invite you, you must tell them, you must present them, you have 1 year full-time employment contract. Last year, many clients who got an invitation from Western Australia, they have a point. Some of our clients have a point 90, some of have 95 points. They invite them. The day they invite them, they give you 28 days to give them the full-time employment contract. If you have a full-time employment contract, you are eligible to apply 190 or 491. You don't need to live there. You can apply from outside Western Australia, but limited chance to get it. These are the occupations that are currently in the Western Australia still occupation list. ICT manager, ICT project managers, security specialist, software engineer, software tester, web developer. If you have a job in these occupations in Western Australia, and if you are working in Western Australia, you are most probably, they can invite you earlier as compared you are applying from Sydney, you are applying from Melbourne, and there are good scope of IT in Western Australia. And this web developers, software testers, software engineers, mostly people they can hire, they can found a job in as a web developer in Western Australia. They live there. You have to apply a job in Western Australia and try to work on your points. And most probably they can invite you. Last year, Western Australia was very active. They invite so many clients from Sydney or from Melbourne. It means they're looking for IT graduates. So this state is also very good for for offshore clients, even from onshore clients too. The other thing, for example, if you finish 2 year study Bachelor of IT, 3 year study Bachelor of IT, or 2 year study Master of IT, you still can eligible for 190 from Western Australia. Another thing, they also ask about it. You must have an employment contract. If you finish 2 year studies there, like you studies computer network and masters of computer network and system analyst, okay, master of program, master of programming, master of engineering, you must have a 6 month full-time employment contract, or you must have a 20 hours per week employment contract. For example, you finish 2 year studies there, all good. Okay, then you have a 6 month work experience in your IT field. Like for example, you have a 6 month work experience this as a software engineer. You are eligible to get 190 from there. The only difference between subclass 190 and 491. For example, if you have a higher points in 190, they can invite you first 190. If you have the lower points, they can go for 190. For many, if some of the clients who has just 70 points and who has a 2 years study in Western Australia in IT, and who has a 6 month work experience in IT, and they can eligible for 491 or 190. And this is also very, very good state. This is the states who announce the criteria, state nomination criteria, very earlier. They announce in May next year criteria. This is the current updated information that are sharing with you, because they want to attract more international students in Western Australia. So last year, for example, if their occupation list just have 100 occupation, this year they added more than 300 occupations, and they are very active this year to attract more skilled people in Western Australia in IT. And there's a big IT scope in Western Australia. If you have a job there, for example, if you have a job there, if you have a positive skill assessment, if you have a higher points in these occupations, you can get 190 from there. The another very popular state, Australian Capital Territory, Canberra. This is Canberra. Canberra is very good state. For example, if you don't have an IT job in Canberra, if you live in Canberra for from 6 months, if you do any type of job, there are chances to get 190 or 491 from there. Also, Canberra is also on the ranking system. If you have the higher points, they can pick you first. If you have a lower points, they can pick you later. So in Canberra, there's a different criteria for 190 and 491. If you lived in Canberra for 6 months, and from the date of invitations, and if you have worked 35 hours per week, and if your occupation is on the nominated occupation, you can apply 190 from there. For example, if you are the software engineer, you live in Canberra for 6 months, there are chances to get 190 from Canberra. If you lived in a Canberra for last 3 months, for 491, if you lived in a Canberra for last 3 months, and still keep continuing living until the date of invitation, and if you work minimum 20 hours per week, and your nominated occupation is on the Australian capital list, you are eligible to get 190. If you are not, for example, in subclass 190, if you are not working in the ACT critical list, you're still eligible to apply 190. The difference is that if you work in a critical sector, they give you more points. If you're not working in a critical sector, they give you less points. But this Canberra, Australian Capital Territory, I like, because if some people don't get a job in IT and they think which state I moved, so I ask them, okay, you go to the Canberra, live there for 6 months to up 1 year, try to increase points in 8 each, try to do the professional year in Canberra. There are chances to get 190 from there. Canberra is the one state, is the only one state who give you professional year points. The Canberra has a very different metrics. If you live 3 months, there is a different points. If you live 1 year, there's a different points. If you study in Canberra, there are different points. They're based on point system. So these are the occupations that are currently in Canberra. For example, they have a quota system. One more thing in Canberra, they have one quota system. For example, if you there is a group software and application programmer. All of these occupations are available in Canberra, but they just invite less than 40 per month. For example, if you are the software engineer, You have a chance to get it, because this is per month, not per year. So if you work as a software tester, you live in Canberra, you work in Canberra, there are chances to get 190 from there. Like, so many of our clients, like who are working in a gaming sector, who are working in software, they can go for this application software and application programmer. These days app is very common. Many IT professionals, they are very competent. They work like software and application programmer. They just work 6 months there. 6 months, their chances to get 190 from there. Yes, if you work just 6 months there, their chances to get so 190. And these, it's not difficult to find a job in Canberra. People are getting jobs these days. Many of clients, they are moving in Canberra, and within month to 2 months, they get the job there. And one more thing, if you're working in Canberra, you have to work in office. There is no online working allowed, no remote working. You have to work in office. This is the something you have to work. And if you're thinking to moving state, then Canberra is also good state, because this is 40 is not very bad number. It's very good number. For example, if you're working as a computer and network professional, then the number is very low. You just have five seats per month. For example, computer network and system engineer. Then if you're working in this occupation, it means five. If you multiply by 12, it's not very good number. So if you're working in this one, computer network and system engineer, make sure you have very good point. You have a 8 age, you live in Canberra more than 6 months. Mm. You have finished professional year in Canberra, because the number is very less, 5 years. If you are the software engineer, software programmer, I recommend you move to there. If you're working as a computer network, if you have a very good ranking, very good points, then you move there. It's better, before moving these states, you have to ask your agents to take the advice which state is better for them. Because this occupation, if you just have a 7 each, less than 70 points, I'm not recommending you move there. I'm only recommending if you have a good score, 8 each, you finish study, you have a 1 year work experience, then it's all win-win situation, you move there. Others occupation, ICT project managers. If you, these occupations, if for example, if there is also less than 5 seats there, okay. And this is also common, very common as a ICT business analyst, system analyst. Number still good, less than 20. It means they can give you 20 per month. It's still good. So, for example, if the people who working in a business analyst, there are good chances to get 190 from Canberra. System analyst, both are same closely related group. So it's very good, folks. One more thing, for example, all of these one 2613, it means this is the main group. For example, if you are working as a developer program, if you have a skill assessment in a software engineer, you can also apply 190 as a developer engineer, because these are the closely related group. If anyone have any question, just leave on a chat box, and after this session, I can try to answer all of these questions. If yes. ICT business analyst, this is very common subject. Some people who has a different background in offshores, once they come here, they do master of information system, then they get a skill assessment in a business analyst or a system analyst. You just less than 20 occupations still have chance. If you have a job, it's very good. You move there are chances to get it. Because if you're working, for example, if you are in New South Wales, an ICT business analyst, they requires 3 year work experience. to apply 190. But if you're moving in Canberra, if you're working there, there's chances to get 190 from there. Another group, ICT sports and test engineers. If you're working as a sports engineer, system engineers, there is a seat less than 5, but have chances to get it because not many people have find a job. But if you work this sector, either if you find a job, ICT sports engineer, if you move the chances to get it. Even the people who work as a ICT support technician, like a hardware technician, web administrator, ICT sports technician, there's still chances to get it 190 from there because they have 5 seats there per month. Even hardware technicians, ICT customer support officer, web administrator, all these are very good occupation. And people find a job. For example, if you can work as a web administrator, even you can go for ICT support technician. If you have a job, you do the skill assessment in this occupation, then Canberra is very good for you. Main thing is a job. The Australian Capital Territory already announced their occupation list, so all of these are the updated information. So if any of my friends, clients looking to move in Canberra, and if they have a job in this occupation, I think this is the most winning occupations in IT. If you have a find in this occupation, then have to move in Canberra. And I think it's very probability to get a 190 within 6 months from this occupation because very good number of seats, 40 occupations, 40 seats per month. It's very, very good. Again, if someone don't write my email address, this is my email address, hassan.ali@aussizzgroup.com, and my phone number is 0491091035. You can write my email address. If you have any further question regarding states, I'm happy to answer your email address. If you call me, I can also call back to you. I can answer all your questions and answers. And this is my Mara number, 1803878. This is Victoria. Last year, Victoria was not good for IT occupation, to be honest. Not good, not good. Many clients have a very good job in Victoria. They moved to different state like New South Wales, Tasmania. But Victoria was very good after May. Many of our clients got the invitation from Victoria. Just 1 minute. So last year Victoria was not good, but Victoria was very good after May. But the problem in Victoria last year, if you're working in a target sectors, then it's very there are very good chances to get a 190. Some of our clients who work in a fintech, like in a bank sectors, they can get invitation 190 from Victoria. But if you're working in a digital games, like if you're working in a digital games, there are chances to get it. Victoria is based on target sectors. So if you work in Victoria in this digital sector, like health and meditech, smart cities infrastructure, transport tax, energy and resource tax, fintech, agri-tech, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity. It was very good, Victoria, last year. But if you're working in an IT firm, software houses, then Victoria was not good last year. Others think it's very good if you're working in a Victoria regional area. Any digital sectors, they invite 491. And if you're working in Victoria, then you must have a very good score. The minimum last year, mostly our clients from Aussizz group, they are invited between 85 to 90. But mostly the client who was invited, they work in this sector, fintech, artificial intelligence, cyber security, digital games. But if you're not working in these sectors, then it's difficult to chance. We hope this year they change these things. And 190 is also very good from Victoria, 491. Rohit answered. Rohit was asking about, is there any chances to get 491 family sponsorship? Yes, brother, it's chances to get a 491 family sponsorship if you just increase 5 more points. We have one of our clients who got a invitation who has a 95 chance, 95 points, and there are chances to get it 190, Rohit, but little bit improve your points. The other thing is South Australia. South Australia, if you're working in a South Australia, if you have a 2 year work experience, then chances to get a 190 from there. And if you just finish 2 year study in South Australia, there is chances to get 190 from there. South Australia is also very good, but for IT occupation, they have a minimum criteria for 24 months. Or if you're working in outer Adelaide, you must have 12-month work experience. South Australia is good, but in South Australia, like other state, Tasmania, they just ask about 6 months. But if you are working in a South Australia, you must have a 24-month work experience, or others you have finished at least 1 year study in South Australia, then they can give you 190 or 491. In South Australia, there are very good number of seats. And you can find all of the occupations related to IT in the South Australia occupation list. Another thing, if you're working in a South Australia, currently working in your nominated IT occupation or closely related IT occupation for last 6 to 12 months in outer regional Australia, there's still chances to get 491. Many of our clients are moving to South Australia, especially in the outer Adelaide. In outer Adelaide, always chances to get the invitation first. There are one more thing. If some of the IT occupations unfortunately could not find a job in IT, then sometime I recommend my clients who please move to outer Adelaide. This one, outer Adelaide. If you move to outer Adelaide and if you live there 1 year, you can do any type of job. And after 1 year, you are eligible for 491.
Sorry to interrupt, Hassan. Can you share your screen, please?
1 minute.
Sure.
All good. So we move back to South Australia 1 minute. Yes. So if you're working in a South Australia for 24 months, there are chances to get 190 from there. If you finish 1 year study in South Australia, there is chances to get 190 from there. And if you're leaving outer Adelaide, they just says at least 6 to 12 months in outer Adelaide and chances to get 491 from there. This is also another state, Queensland state nomination. If you finish master's degree in Queensland and if you have a 6 month work experience in your field, there are chances to get 190 from Queensland. And one more thing, there is very limited number of seats in Queensland. there is just give them 200 seats. For example, if you are the software engineer, developer, programmer, ICT business analyst, software and application programmer, there is only 200 seats in this one. Others, if you work in Queensland from 3 months, there are chances to get 491 from there. Provide evidence you have been living in Queensland and undertake full-time post-qualification employment, minimum of 35 hours per week. There are chances to get 491 from there. But in Queensland, there's also the ranking system. You must have a very, very good score. You must have a master's course there or PhDs there, and you must have a 6-month work experience in Queensland. New South Wales. New South Wales is also very good states. If you're working in New South Wales, if you have a 3 years IT work experience, there's chances to get a new 190 or 491 invites from New South Wales. So last year, New South Wales was a little bit tough from IT graduates. They say you must have a minimum 3-year work experience in your nominated field. And if you are residing onshore, you must be currently residing in New South Wales. And you must have genuine and continuously resided in New South Wales for past 3 months. The main thing is that for IT graduate, if you have a 3-year work experience in IT, you move to New South Wales, there are chances to get 190 from there. Others option is that if you don't move to New South, if you don't live in a Sydney, you can live in a regional New South Wales. There are 3 different categories like stream 1, stream 2, stream 3. For example, if you live and working in a regional New South Wales, there are chances to get 491 from there. For example, if you find a job as a business analyst, you move to New South Wales, you live there for 3 months, you work in their nominated occupation, your chances to get 491. Others option, if you have a 2 years regional study in New South Wales, and after that study, you can apply 491 from there. The others option, this is the stream 3 occupation. If you are living in Victoria, you still can apply New South Wales 491 invitations. If you live and yes, there is only you only need to get the positive skill assessment in this occupation. And mostly common people last years, many people have got the invitation from New South Wales stream 3, living and working in a regional New South Wales. It means you only require minimum 3-year work experience. If you have a 3-year work experience, you can go for this one. If you have no work experience, you only have a positive skill assessment, you can go for stream 3. This is the EOI statistics that I want to share with you. So you guys should know about it, but the minimum points required to get invitation like 189. For example, if someone sitting, we have many clients who sitting in this criteria like 75 points. There are 672 number of EOIs in this occupation, computer network and system engineers. For example, if you have a 90 points, these are the number of EOIs. So it means 90 people are sitting in this EOIs, 90. And if you're thinking about 190 EOIs in these occupations, you can see in hundreds they have a 38 number of seats. It means 38 people have applied this. And family sponsorship, for example, computer network, you can see 90 people are sitting on this 36, hundreds 20, 105 less than 20. This is the software engineers. This is subclass 189. In software engineers, they see so many people who are sitting 80 points. They are more than 1,300, 500 seats. Many people are sitting on a 75 points. For 189, if you are sitting in this point 80 to 95, 80 to 85 chances to get it, because not many people are 90 or 95. Once the 189 open, these people, once they sitting on 115 point, 105 points, 100, the chances to get the invite first. The other thing is 190. See, many people in 90. See, there's so many people are sitting this. It means nearly 1,800 people have at this point 90s in different states. So you, if you guys looking to get this 189, you must have a target to get this number between 85 to 95. If you have a points less than 85, then you guys have to move in different states. That's like New South, like Canberra, Tasmania, where you find a job in IT, you can invite it in this. And this is the family sponsorships, family sponsor. Many of clients whose family members living in regional area like brothers, sisters, if they have a higher points like this, their chances to get it, like mostly people, not many people applying in software engineer in a family sponsor. You have seen once the applications open, their chances to get it. See, many people have 110 points and some have a 105 points. So always try to get improved points. If you have a points for 491, I always recommend my clients to get between 90 to 100. If you have this point, then there are chances to get it 491 from there. This is also the state sponsorship, like 491. This is EY statistic, ICT business analyst. For example, if you have a 95 points, the chances to get 133. Number of EYs 133. This is state sponsorship 491. Many of clients who have sitting 95, see they're 365. If you want to target this sector 189 visa, you must have a very good score. And there are not many EYs here. Okay. This is 95. You must get this point 85 to 95. And this is 491 family sponsored visa. See, if someone family members living in regional area, they can go for this one 85 to 100 points. And this is another also very common occupation, software and application programmer. For example, if you're working in a, if you have a very good score between 85 to 95, there is chances to get 189 independent skill occupation, EOI. And if you have a 190 points, there is chances to get it. This is 85 to 90, very good scores. People have very good score these days. Yes, you must have bit points between 85 to 95. If you want to get 189, you must improve more points. This is the update. This is the all EOI statistics that we got from immigration. One more thing I can explain, one more thing at the end. These days, many people going for 186 employer nomination and 482 visas. If you have a 2 years work experience in IT, you can go for this one. Like in this, so as a software engineer, if you have a 2 year work experience, you can apply for it too. If you have a 3 years work experience, if some of any client from offshore, like living in India or offshore applicant, if they have a 2 year work, 3 years work experience, they can go for direct 186 employer nomination streams. Just 1 minute. क्वेश्चन आंसर किस तरह आंसर No, this is the no. We are going for question and answer sessions. जी जी. Varshani said he's working as an analyst programmer for a year and a medical center, and employer is opening a new businesses per this month. We have many new clients. Okay. If you're working as a business analyst or analyst programmer, there are chances to get a 190 from there, from Perth. Sheila said she has a 18-year work experience under software engineers. Yes, Sheila, you have very, very good work experience, 18 years. You can go 186 direct entry. I suppose you are from offshores. If you find an employer who want to sponsor you in 186 visa, you straight go for 186 direct entry as a software engineer professional. For 186, if you have, yes, you have must skill assessment 6 stage. Hmm? Okay, this all from my side. So I will give my consent. One more thing. Hi, this is all from my side. Now I will ask my colleague Manpreet Kaur to start this consultancy, to start the session further. Hi, Manpreet.
Thank you so much, Hassan. That was a great session. I'm sure people have already received a lot of information around their migration pathways. I'm just going to quickly share my screen to give you. Are you guys able to see my screen? Just thumbs up if you're off.
Hey Manpreet, we can see your screen, but can you minimize the pop-up window? Because we are also able to see. Yeah, correct. All good. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. And thank you so much, Hassan, for giving such a brief and explained presentation around the information technology migration pathway. Now, obviously, in order for you to reach to the part where you're going to actually get your permanent residency, you have to first, obviously, tackle a very big challenge, which is to obviously finish your studies. So I am going to give you guys an insight around the education part of this session, wherein I will be covering a lot of information around these courses and just quickly sharing the agenda of this presentation, which is to obviously give you a brief idea around the latest and emerging information technology. Obviously, IT has always swayed the world. Technology is so much part of our day-to-day life that nobody can imagine their life obviously living without the telephone or the mobile phones or the automated devices. So obviously, the power of information technology is something that everybody has seen already. In this particular small presentation, I will cover up about these latest information technologies. Obviously, we all know all other traditional IT technologies, but in this one, we are going to focus more on the latest one. Then we'll focus on the popular courses, obviously, that you can study in future in order to get into these interesting study areas, which Hassan has already explained how you're going to achieve your migration pathway. And I'll just cover up how you will reach to the part where you're going to actually work in the real life. Then we'll have a little touch base on the career opportunities the salary expectations, and we'll also talk about the market projection, which is obviously very important. The salary expectations. Along with that, we'll talk about the entry requirements to study these courses, starting from a very fundamental level and go up to the master's level, and obviously how you can save some bucks, which is very important. So we are going to talk about the scholarship, which is introduced by the various education providers. So just quickly starting, so the latest and emerging IT technologies, which is now dominating the world, I would say, are artificial intelligence, quantum computing, blockchain, Internet of Things. These obviously definitions or these words sound very complicated to obviously any person who are not introduced to these technologies. Just to give you a little hint of it, you already know about robots, about the automated machines. So artificial intelligence is basically when a computer or a device or any device which try to mimic the human mind, the human emotions. I don't know if you may have seen some clips where there are people who are actually able to talk to robots, can actually have their emotions felt. So there are very interesting developments in information technology that has definitely swayed the whole world. And this is something which all of us, we are very looking up to. If we talk about the quantum computing, then it's not a traditional computer. If anybody who has IT background would know that a traditional computer or classical computer, it uses a binary language, uses 0 and 1. You cannot add anything more into it. However, with quantum computing, it is not restricted to use just the binary language, but it uses the qubits. So you can imagine the power of quantum computing is amplified. So it's more like an amplified or powerful version of a computer. Google, for instance, has been using quantum computing technology because there's a large amount of data, which is obviously used by the Google. And there has been a news that in 2029, there will be a center of Google, which will be working on just quantum computing, because this is the future of obviously information technology. This is the future which every country wants to adopt, want to know more and more about, obviously heavy computing or large data records, or want to use these technologies into various sectors as it has the application in other sectors. Blockchain, it's basically, if you have heard about Bitcoin, they use this technology. It's more like a database. It's a ledger record, which records large amount of data. So Bitcoin is a great example of this technology. You can definitely, it's a very secured way. You can add more and more data. It can be shared publicly. It can also be decentralized, and making sure that everything is very secured. Of course, the fintech uses this a lot. With fintech, I mean financial technology area, they use it a lot, especially banks. They try to improve their banking system, and this has definitely, created a big revolution in the fintech industry. With Internet of Things, it's basically any device or any process that can detect by using the sensors. For instance, if I have to give you a very simple example, then any, let's say any medical device that detects your temperature, for instance, all these have a sensor which can detect the temperature. Another example is there are devices which are now able to detect the temperature, the moisture in the soil, and it is heavily used in the agriculture. So all these 4 technologies, these are not limited to just information technology. In fact, this has an application in every sector. So per se, health sector, per se, information technology, or financial sector, or even the day-to-day life. Nowadays, everything is becoming smart. There's a smart houses, smart homes, smart technology, Alexa is there. All these uses these background IT technology, these emerging IT technologies, which allowed them to actually explore a lot of things and explore a lot more than they would traditionally use. So definitely these technologies is going to decide the future of humankind. And many countries are now obviously trying to protect this technology. And these technology you can definitely learn if you come to Australia. And we are going to now share what are the most popular courses which actually will enable you to learn these information technologies. So the most popular courses, you may have already heard from Mr. Hassan, the most popular occupation, but these are the courses that will allow you to attain those occupations. So starting with software engineering, business analytics, enterprise management, network and cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, web development, mobile app development, computer games and digital media. All these courses will allow you to learn about these emerging IT technologies, which will help you to later achieve the set occupation and, of course, the possible migration pathways. Now, the career opportunities after studying these courses are, I'm not going to repeat the same thing so that you guys will be thinking, okay, I'm hearing the same thing over and over again. But yeah, if you are going to study these courses in any part of Australia, just know this, that after studying these courses, you're going to get membership in the Australian Computer Society, which obviously give you an upper hand because, again, the use of technology is everywhere, in every country, in every sector. So obviously, if you are going to start working in these areas, you're not limited to work in just IT sector, but you can explore to work in health, you can explore to work in even literally any sector for that matter. So these are the most popular occupation that we have picked up: analyst, programmer, network professional, business analyst. A lot of people may have already heard ICT security specialist, multimedia specialist, and application program. So these ones that you see on the screen are the most hot career opportunity, I would say, in general. Now, obviously, the most important question is to obviously have a remuneration. Who doesn't want to earn a handsome salary and want to have a set career? Obviously, we spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on our education. And I know how challenging it is for everybody, especially for international students when they arrive to Australia and obviously with the hope to have a very good career, want to get the possible remuneration. They, might nobody want to just struggle after spending a lot of money. However, the occupations that we picked up, these are the ones which will give you great remuneration. So here is the average comparison. So these figures can obviously change, but this is the current salary expected for you guys if you're going to get into the profession line of these sorts of occupations. Starting with ICT business analyst, you can earn around 89,000 per annum, obviously in Australian dollar. Project managers can earn around 108,000 Australian dollar per annum. Test engineers and support engineers can earn around 72,512. The security specialist can earn around 106,000, which is, I believe, among one of the highest salary for anybody. Computer network professional can earn up to 100,000. I know these figures may sound very attractive, but honestly, it definitely depends on your hard work as well. How much, obviously, you take time to study these courses, how seriously you study these courses. So these career opportunities are definitely available for all of you, but you probably have to work a little bit hard. In the next part, I'll share about the employment opportunities in the different states, starting with the ICT business and system analyst. Now, New South Wales and Victoria obviously are one of the most popular states. I was also an international student once, and I remember when I came to Australia, the only state or the only city I probably knew was Sydney and Melbourne. I never knew about the other states, but obviously with the passage of time, I've seen that now people are getting to know about the employment opportunities in the different states. So obviously here the share with New South Wales and Victoria is the highest. So there's 38% of employment opportunities available to students or to anyone for that matter. Victoria stands at 31%, Queensland 12%. These figures are obviously the current figures or based on all the statistics that have raised so far. However, considering how much the information technology has spread around the world, and of course, Australia are also increasing and giving more and more employment opportunities to people. Obviously, you need to have those skills gained, and you certainly can have that remuneration. Now, this one is for project managers. For ICT project managers, again, New South Wales and Victoria leads the way. Queensland stand at 12%. ACT is at 7%. SA is slowly gaining the momentum. It's definitely one of a very popular state to study. And with regards to employment opportunities, every state is exponentially growing and giving more and more vacancies to everybody. Obviously, you have to make sure, again, I'll repeat again, that you finish your studies. Coming back to the next, support and test engineers. Now, here, New South Wales is dominating again. Almost half of the employment opportunities are available there, which is 43%. And NT, ACT, WSA, all these stand at the mediocre level, 5% and 4% and 1%, and Queensland at 11%. Obviously, the major factor to this can also be that these states are one of the most popular and the bigger one. But slowly and steadily, I've seen that people have realized that the other states like ACT, SA, WA, NT, especially NT, these can be fantastic states to study and secure your migration pathway, considering that there's still less amount of immigrants over there, considering that there are more study options there and reasonable study options there. But of course, once you finish your studies, you're open to work in any state, provided if it satisfies your migration pathway. But yes, one great thing that we can take out of this is there are a lot of great employment opportunities available for you guys. Now, ICT security specialist. This one, you can see that again, New South Wales, Victoria, they're leading. But ACT has actually shown a lot of people, of course, it's a capital category. A lot of people want to obviously secure places into the state and want to get the job. So there has been more number of opportunities in ACT. SA and W is still at 5%, but I believe in future, the number that you see right now, there will be a chances that all these states are giving an equal amount of opportunities to students to work in these sectors, as there's a huge importance of these sectors. Now, computer network and professionals, again, the figure says it all. New South Wales, Victoria dominating, Queensland at 13%. However, we definitely are projecting these numbers to go up and down, and definitely looking at how the trend goes is it's going uphill. So obviously you need not to worry in future for your employment opportunities. Now, the most important thing is where these education or where these study will take me. Am I going to get any opportunity or not? Because just merely saying that these sort of occupations will give you a very handsome remuneration. However, the market outlook or the market projection will help you to understand whether it is worth to spend thousands of dollars on your education, especially in this sector. So if we talk about the information technology, information system sectors, you can see that there has been a shortage of skilled employees. It has been announced nationally. You can also see in the national skill shortage list that there has been a shortage of a lot of professionals, especially with information system being an education consultant. I've consulted thousands of students. And one thing that I've commonly noticed is people study these courses, but they're fearing to actually try and work in these sectors. Maybe there's a fear that I'm not going to get a proper job. Maybe there's a fear that they think that they might not be able to secure a job or how the market looks like. So just to give you that idea, this chart here, if you can see, this one, actually represents the number of vacant opportunities. So there is currently 28.6% of vacant posts available in the information system. And this tiny little area tells you only 5.8% of suitable candidates have been found. So from here itself, you can see that people are not trying to actually, I'm not saying that people are not trying hard enough, but the suitable candidates or the people with the proper skill or the one who really, really want to get into this are very limited. So this is just an area of opportunities which you can explore, which can definitely apply. And now there are a lot of contractual jobs available for you. You can definitely get more information around this by consulting us, but just giving you a brief introduction around the market outlook. Now, this figure here tells the projected growth. So this industry is projected to grow by 27.59%. So again, it's going in positive. So definitely in future, there are more employment opportunities. And after the border opening, I've definitely seen that slowly and steadily and gradually, the lot of international students now arriving into the state, into the different states are now showing interest to study these courses. Business and system analyst has greatest proportion of occupations in shortage. This is information system has become very popular. I must say that in the last 5 years, I've seen large amount of people wanting to study, information system or business system analyst. However, knowing the fact that they're studying a lot, but there still has been a greater shortage in this sector. And that is why there's this great chance for you to catch up and obviously apply in this sector. So here you could see some of the employment in February 2022 data and number of the change in employment. You could see how much it's planning to grow and change in the total employment share. Here you can see it's only 6.8%. Now let's talk about the other market sector, computing and artificial intelligence. I get really fascinated with the technology, to be honest, especially artificial intelligence, because I look how we talk to Siri or Alexa. Who has ever wondered or thought that they will have robots or they will have machines who could talk or they have machines who could mimic the emotions? I've seen an interview where there's a robot who's actually answering the questions, who's actually who's so smart that they were able to fool around or joke around. And this is something which fascinates me a lot. So obviously, there's a brain behind all this. And obviously, as a human, obviously the intelligence which needs to be mimicked into the computer, it has been a very difficult task. So kudos to the people who invented these technology. And now there is a vast amount of area to explore around it. And if we look around this sector, then it is forecasted that it is going to add trillions of dollars in the global economy in the coming decades. And the projected growth is 33.9%, which is among the highest in this sector. Now, the number of students you could see completing higher education courses in information technology increased strongly in the over the 5 years of 2019, more than doubling over this period. So a lot of people have shown interest to study this sector, and the number of temporary visa holders in professional occupation has fallen since early 2020. Now, we are anticipating it was because of the COVID, which has definitely affected a lot of people around the world. But now it is aiming to open more avenues for students. And one of the consulting firm, McKinsey, it actually estimates that the digital technologies could contribute to around 140 to 250 billion to Australian GDP by 2025. You can see here, this chart also says how it has grown a lot. And again, this little chart tells us there are 27.6% of vacancies open and only 5.4% of suitable candidates for this. So the number itself says a lot that people study these courses, but not ready to get into the professional line. So highly encouraging everybody to obviously make sure that they actually explore the vacancies, go for the contractual job or for part-time jobs. You definitely we'll get a good start from there and then can see how future goes for you. Coming to the network and cyber security. Now, this particular area, I believe, is something which definitely, I personally feel a lot of people definitely need to get into this area. Now, as soon as the information technologies has grown a lot, you've also seen a lot of cyber crimes happening. Protecting the data, protecting your network, or protecting the technology is very important. Now, Australia is paying a huge attention into this. There has been a buzz around the course change in the IT. A lot of people are confused about it. So, guys, if you have questions about the course change also, you can see for professionals, as you can see in the first point, it has rose strongly over year to June 2021. So the employment opportunity, in fact, Australia has also, if you could check on some of the official sources, they advertise about some of the programs where they are encouraging people to actually take part into it, to learn about protecting the network, protecting the technologies. So definitely, this is the area you should definitely try. ICT security specialist is in shortage with strong future demand. The projected growth for this sector is 30.38, again among the highest. And as you can see, this is the projected revenue in this industry. So in 2016, it was 2.2 billion, but by 2026, it may reach to $6 billion. So the growth is immense. Again, some of the occupation you could see, the potential candidates here only 5.4%, here only 4.7%. So certainly there is a need for more and more candidates. And for that, you definitely need to study and you need to know how you can study. So coming to the part to tell you who are going to study these courses and what basically you need to do. So let's talk about the entry requirements. Now here we've mentioned about bachelor's and master's. You can also study up to diploma and certificates level. Get in touch with us to get the more information because we try to give you very concise information in this PPT. However, if anybody has more questions, want to know more about it, you certainly can get in touch and I'll leave my contact details in this particular chat and you can save this detail. Now for bachelor's, year 12 or equivalent, and you need to have IELTS 6.0 band, not less than 6.0, and an equivalent in the PT. In PT, it could be around 48, I believe, or 50. So you need to make sure that you have suitable band score to study these courses. For masters, it's bachelor's degree minimum, obviously from the recognized higher education institution. With respect to English requirement, it's 6.5, not less than 6 band. And in PT, I believe it's 58, not less than 52. You can again get in touch with our education team if you want to study this on certificate or diploma level, because these courses are also available in it to study the information technology. But of course, if you want to study any specialized emerging technology, you may have to start with a bachelor's, but you could always study diploma certificate just to give you a bit of a background hint or just to understand the fundamentals or the basics of IT. Now, these are the top education providers who offers the courses or the technologies we've mentioned. There are other providers also, but we list down the main one. So we have Swinburne University, Southern Cross, Charles Stewart, Torrance University, Federation University, Central Queensland, Curtin University, and Edith Cowan University. Now, these universities does offer these courses. Apart from them, you could also study in TAFE, which is very, very popular in every state, and Holmes Institute. There are other institutions as well. Get in touch with us so we can give you more options and more study providers, but we've listed down the top ones here. Now, the next part covers, which is definitely my favorite part, because who doesn't want to save the money when they spend thousands of dollars? So we talk about the scholarships now. These are all the popular education providers we've mentioned, and there are great scholarships available for you guys. So obviously, in order to reach to the part where you're actually getting a permanent residency, which you already, obviously, Mr. Hassan has explained very beautifully. Now, obviously, to reach there and to do that, you have to study. And to study, obviously, you have to try and secure the best possible, tuition fees where you could actually manage your budget. So starting with Swinburne, they're offering a STEM scholarship of 30%, and this is available for postgraduate courses. There are fantastic scholarship available to the students who are doing academically well. So obviously, as I said, it all comes back to you studying properly. So if you are going to secure, if you want to secure higher amount of scholarship, you definitely can go for the International Excellence Scholarship. Swinburne give it somewhere from 10% and it goes up to 75%. Now, many other university also offers the same scholarship, but you can check their website also, because these university definitely publish everything on their website to give you a brief around the eligibility criteria to apply these scholarships. With Southern Cross University, they have a regional scholarship. Now, regional study is very popular. Everybody, many internationals, I consult so many people who are planning to come to Australia. They are very interested to study into the regional, states and want to study the courses from the regional states only. So for this one, obviously, there's a regional scholarship available with Southern Cross. There's a diversification scholarship of 8,000, and outstanding academic scholarship of 15,000 per year. So obviously, if you have a good percentage of score in your year 12, in your bachelor, please get in touch with us. So we are going to get you the best scholarship possible so that you can save a lot of money and can definitely study this sector and can definitely go for your future. With Charles Stewart, it's only 20%, which also include bachelors of nursing. We're not going to divert the topic to nursing. Everybody's interested in nursing anyway. Then comes to the Torrens University. Torrens University offers design scholarship of up to 10 to 15%. Then we have 15% of international transfer scholarship available to any international student wanted to study there, provided they're onshore. Then 25% of international merit scholarship. One common thing I've noticed among all these universities, if you have a good percentage in your bachelor and year 12, guys, you can get a great scholarship. Just get in touch with us. With Federation, it's 10 to 25% international scholarship. Central Queensland University, they have currently giving 25% for undergraduate and postgraduate. So it's available to both levels. So guys, fantastic opportunity. Get in touch with us to get this scholarship. Then we have Curtin University, 25% of international merit scholarship and starter support scholarship of up to 5,000. With Edith Cowan, they are offering scholarship to master's students, which is 20% in the first year. And they're also offering 20% on the full course if you want to study the bachelor. Now, I'm sure I wanted to wrap up this very quickly and very concisely so that you get the information. However, if you want to secure the best scholarship, if you want to get into the best university, please get in touch with us. I will leave my contact detail in this session, and it will be fantastic if you guys can leave your reviews. I'm sure you've enjoyed this session. We've tried to obviously give you as much information as possible. And if you like this session, please give us the review. We've also have giveaways. The link has been shared with you guys. If you are going to participate actively, we will definitely offer you more and more options to us. There's free migration consultations. There are opportunities to get discounts on your PTE, on your IELTS study. Obviously, these are your first fundamental steps to definitely reach to the part where you study. And obviously, migration part has already been explained to you guys. So get in touch with us and you can definitely avail great discounts with us too. Thank you very much for taking part. And I'm sure you guys have enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, please leave in the comment section. We'll now be answering the question and answer. Thank you very, very much, guys. Okay, guys, we'll just quickly try to answer your question. And if in case we miss out to answer any question, please reach out to us. I'm just going to quickly give you guys my contact details. Just give you a quick answer. There's someone who asked me a question. I unfortunately do not look after the migration part. If you have education question, I can certainly answer. Dear Manpreet, to have skill assessment from ACS, can we do that without experience but only having education? Having education is very important, guys. So obviously, that's the first step. But if you want to know about the next part, which is the migration part, please get in touch with Mr. Hassan because he would probably know better than me about the migration pathway. But yes, if you want to know how to study these courses, I can certainly help you. All right, someone asked me that artificial intelligence and IoT data related studies famous. Can you please respond to data science, data analytics, and data engineers, how they will benefit? Guys, if you have seen the information systems part, that particular area actually covers around these occupations, such as data science, data analytics, and data engineers. So if you want to obviously get these professional occupations, the courses you could popularly study is Masters of Business Information. You can also study Masters of Information Technology. Take a specialization of either data science or data analytics or enterprise management. These can definitely help you. If you talk about the college, the timings, obviously many colleges, they're very flexible in terms of obviously giving you guys an flexible option. Many colleges are now giving flexible tuition fees options. Some of them are also obviously allowing you to study online, provided your conditions. So I think with respect to the study, every university and college, they're very reasonable within classes students these days. The expected timing to go to the college, it depends the number of subjects you're enrolled in. But I think 2 to 3 days on an average, every college allows you to come to the college. And it's not 5 days, obviously, but some are. For instance, TAFE, essay or TAFE, generally you have to go Monday to Friday because they're very particular about their education system. Some education providers are also, such as some big universities, they may also have the similar condition. But get in touch with us, which college you're talking about, and then we can give you more information around it. Mr. Hassan, I'll request you to answer the migration questions, please. I think I can only answer the education-related questions, but most of the people, they would like to know about the migration part. Thank you so much.
Yes. We have one question from Krishna. She said to claim 5 points of work experience, ACS skill assessment is compulsory. No, there is no skill assessment is compulsory if you're working in Australia. If you have a proper bank statement, proper pay slip, if you're paying tax, if your employer paying superannuation, there is no points to do the skill assessment from ACS. I have another question there regarding, can we take 5 points from professional years and 1 year work experience points? Yes, you can get 10 points. 5 points from professional years and 5 points from your one year work experience. I have another question from Bikash. He said he have a 6-month work experience and still working in South Australia. Can they apply for PR? Yes, because you still can apply 190 from talent and innovation stream. If you have very good job, if you are getting salary above $80,000 in South Australia, there are chances to apply 190 from talent and innovation stream. I have another question from Jitinder. He said he have a 7-year work experience in computer and networking, and he finished bachelor degree. Jatinder, you just got 70 points for 90. There are more chances you can come here in a 186 direct entry because you have a more than 3-year work experience. If you find any employer who is willing to sponsor you, you can come here on a 186 visa in direct entry. I think this is the best PR pathway for you. You just need to find a proper employer. Yes, I have another question regarding skill assessment. They said to have a skill assessment from ACS, can we do without experience but only having education? Yes, you can do the ACS skill assessment without doing any work experience. If you just finish 1 year professional years, you can get a skill assessment. I have another question from Amandeep Kaur. She shared she have a 1 year work experience as ICT sport engineer. She can apply South Australia? Yes, you can apply South Australia 190 because you don't have a 2-year work experience. You can apply under talent and innovation stream. If you're meeting the requirement, you still can apply 190 from there. I have a one, and she said once it will be open. It can be open at any time between July or maybe first week of August. Yes, I have a very good question. Someone is working in a fintech sectors, and they have a 1 year work experience. Yes, if you're working in a fintech sector in Victoria, and if you have points between 85 to 90, there are chances to get it. We have a one client who got a 90 points in fintechs. Victoria invited him. Yes, Gurvinder, if you have any question, just write down. I can answer your questions here. Karma asked about us. She's the Master of Engineering in Computer Systems, specializing. What are the job occupations which can lead to PR? Yes, if you're working as a software engineer, that's lead to 186. If you're working as a computer network managers, you can this can also lead to 186 for you. Yes. Gurvinder said, I have done masters in cybersecurity from ECU. I have a job in IT sports with less than 1 year of experience. Will I meet the criteria to assess myself? Gurvinder, if you have a 1 year job in ICT sport engineer, you can go for your skill assessment. It all good. Yes, Motish, you have a 3 year work experience in India. If you can assess this 3 year work experience from ACS, that give you 5 points, and you can also apply 186, and you can also apply 190,491 as offshore applicants. You need to assess skill assessment first. One more question. What are the requirements for 491 Victoria? There is one simple requirement. You must work in IT sectors in the regional area to get 491 Victoria nomination. I have one more question from Chandra. Data engineer is not in the skill list. How people from data field can apply? Data engineer, if sometime they can go for software engineers. We can check the job descriptions. What jobs are you doing as a data engineers? And after that, we can suggest you the course. If you're working as a software engineer, you can go for software engineer. It's all depends on your job description, Chandra. But you said you have a 12-month experience. You need to get 2 years minimum work experience to get the skill assessment. No, you. Yes, if you study masters in data science from RMIT, you just need 1 year work experience. And mostly from data engineers, we check the job description. What job are you actually doing? And after that, we suggest you which job title is good for you. Sachi said he is working in Queensland, in regional area, working from home. Which state is good for you? Yes, you can move to Canberra. Canberra is good for you. Janam said she's studying last semester Bachelor of Cybersecurity, which the best path for me. First, you go for 485, and after, if you find a job in New South Wales, South Australia, Canberra, but all good for you. Varshani said she is working as analyst programmer for a year and handle medical centers. And my employer is opening a new branch in Perth this month. We have few clients out there. Yes, Western Australia is very good. If you move in Western Australia, if you doing work there. If your employer registered the business in Western Australia, there are chances to get 190 from there. Yes, Mahesh, you have very good points, 105 points, and you also have a 3-year work experience this 21st of July. Hopefully, you will get 190 soon. Shakar said he has a 3.5-year work experience as an IT administrator. Shakar, you can go for network administrator as a computer engineer. You can do skill assessment from ACS, and you can try 190 491 from offshores. Someone said they just have a 1 year of work experience in IT. As I suggest before, you can apply under talent and innovation stream. If you have a very good salary above $80,000, they can chance to get 491 from South Australia. Rohan said he has 80 points from Victoria Network and Engineers. Rohan, you need to improve 5 more points to get Victoria nomination. Requirement for 186, Bobby said, what is the requirement for 186? For 186, you must have a 3-year work experience full time. That's the one requirement. Amit said he has a 105 points. And what are the chances of get positive skill assessment? Yes, Mohit, after 1 month, if your job description match under software engineer, you can get a positive skill assessment from ACS and good chance to get it. Invitation. Yes, working in a government school in regional Victoria, if the school is willing to sponsor you, you can go for 186. And if you have a 3-year work experience. Gurvinder said, my question is, I have a master's in cybersecurity, done IT professional year, have resided in Western Australia. Do I meet the criteria to assess myself as an? Yes. If you've done professional year, you can go for your skill assessment, Gurvinder, no issue. So Sandeep asking about how many seats of Brisbane in IT. IT have 200 seats in whole year last year. So 50 per occupations. If Sandeep, you are still living in Queensland, you need to get very good score. Navjot said, I am living in regional New South Wales and have a 1 year of business. Navjot said, I'm living in regional New South Wales and I have a 1 year business experience. Navjot, if you have a 1 year business experience, if you have a positive skill assessment, you can apply for 91 state nomination and have chances to get it. Sandeep said still, yes, Sandeep, most probably still 200 seats. If they change the rules, it will come on their website. Gurvinder said, is my study in Masters in Cybersecurity relevant to get us as ICT Sports Engineer? Sandeep, if you send us your transcript, then we can give you the better advice. Suresh said he's living in New South Wales but working remotely. Sometimes New South Wales not accept this thing. They think business must be registered in New South Wales. Yes, all of this question and answer. If you guys have any other question and answer, feel free to contact me on my email address. Yes. Manpreet, do you have any further question answers?
Just a couple of things.
Yes.
I've already tried to answer in the comments. Looks like you're more popular.
No.
You're in demand. So obviously, I know everybody is interested to get into the migration part, but guys, just need to understand that education is the fundamentals. So if you don't have the fundamentals strong, there is no way that you will reach there. And there's a lot of stigma around securing jobs. I just had a couple of people asking that, okay, nobody gets such salary, nobody gets a job. Obviously, just adding it on again, I've already mentioned that a lot of graduate opportunities available. If you want to know more information around how you will be able to secure the job or how things are going to be easy for you or what is the next step, please join our upcoming sessions. We have more sessions where we are going to cover more information around these things as well. And with respect to knowing whether you can secure jobs or not, you can also get in touch with the consultant and they will give you a bit of a hint how things are worked around. But just a little bit of advice, try to have a very good resume once you finish your qualification. Join LinkedIn, very important. You're going to network with a lot of great professionals once you finish your scholarship. If you're performing good in your studies, guys, doesn't matter whether you secure a good scholarship in the beginning, you certainly can secure a very good scholarship while you're studying because a lot of people, a lot of university offers you scholarships if you are performing continuously well. So try to focus more on that. And in the end, I would say that all the very best to all the international students. If you are going to genuinely show your interest in learning these technologies and learning these things, I'm very certain there is always an opportunity available for you. Go for graduate opportunities and get in touch with our experienced team. We certainly do help in giving you a guidance where you're going, where this is heading. Of course, due to this unprecedented this time of great crisis, COVID crisis, a lot of your countries and a lot of people were struggling, but everybody is getting back on their feet. Just be calm, be patient, and we are with you, and we're always there to help you. Thank you. Okay, I think there are more questions popping up. Guys, you have contact detail of Mr. Hassan. I've also left my contact detail in the text box. Please get in touch with us. And if you enjoyed this session, please give your review. And thank you very much, everybody, for joining. And I now request everyone to start joining in our upcoming sessions. We've already shared the links in the chat box. So just join our upcoming sessions. And if you still have questions around IT, migration or education, please get in touch with us. We've already left our contact details. You can also alternatively check out our website if you're situated in certain state and want to, know more about the said state, about the courses and the permanent residency pathway, and also the university providers and the popular courses, and also anything related to these sort of plans. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.